Hello, my Zentangle friends. This is Barbara Langston, CZT, Certified Zentangle Teacher, and welcome to Not Perfect Zen. I hope you're doing well. This is Sunday for me. That's when I usually do my recordings. And wanted to show you a couple of things that I've done lately. I've been really interested in mandalas. And I've especially loved following Kelly Bluen with her mini Mandala Mondays. If you look at my channels on my YouTube channel, you'll see that I have a link to her YouTube channel. Anyway, I love mandalas. I've been interested in them for a while, but I don't especially like drawing the big grids and things like that. And I thought I would try doing something similar to a blossoming tangle, but having patterns that are kind of like ribbons or vines that would start at the center and go out. So I'm loosely calling this a botanical mandala with Zentangle patterns, because I do have a floral mandala book, but it actually uses flowers and paintings and drawings of things like that. Um, so I'll show you what I did. I have all of these 2x2s that I show at the beginning of my videos, and I went through them all and tried to come up with a list, so to speak, of patterns that maybe I could use. So this is some of them. I found some new ones. Can't get these apart. Okay. So just kind of throwing these out here so you can get an idea of what I did to come up with these ideas. Maybe I'll do another one after this. We'll see. I'm very interested in your comments. So, like I said, this is how I started, and I picked some that I wanted to try, and that's what happened on these. This is an apprentice size tile. I actually got this one from 7F5R group, and you can see on the back that I played around with different ones to see if I thought they would work. And then this is just a piece of paper that I took from my sketchbook and divided it up. And on the back, I wrote the names of the patterns that I used. Okay, so that's just kind of a quick intro for how I got to this point. So today I'm going to do one on a Zendala tile. There we go. So this is 4.5 inches across if you measure it. So you could just draw a circle in a sketchbook or on a piece of art paper or scrap paper, whatever you would like to do. Or you could just do it on a square like I did here. Okay, so I'm going to be using a Micron 01, a graphite pencil. I lost my pencil. I just sharpened it too. Where's my pencil? Oh, I found it. Okay, starting again. So we're going to need a Micron 01. That's what I'm going to use. Graphite pencil, and I have sharpened it, and a blending stump. You could use your finger, you can use a Q-tip, you could use a tortillon like this, whatever you have. This is just for fun. And these are the patterns that I picked to use today Rick's Flux Wist by Michele Beauchamp, Sprigs also by Michele Beauchamp, and Waltzy by Sue Schneider. And this one is a fairly new one, came out in February of this year. And the other thing that I'm going to use is the Marcus operandus. And I do have a link. It's free, excuse me, from Zentangle. And I want to mark just very lightly, get an idea of dividing this up. And so on these, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to very lightly draw from one side to the next. Okay, and then we'll do from the 5 to the 2. And like I said, they don't have to be exact. And this helps me kind of put this in sections and also find the center. Okay, so we're done with that. I'm going to go ahead and get my Micron. And I'm going to put circle center. Not very big. Size does not matter on this. Okay, let's start with Sprigs. And for this one, I'm just going to come off of this and make a curve and let it come off this way. And then I'm going to aura that. Go back down. And then for Sprigs, we put a dash, and then go right across from that. Put 2 more dashes. And then on the other side, 2 more dashes, like so. And then we just put like a leaf shape around each of these. Okay. And then we aura each one of those. And my aura is a little bit different from what Michele does on hers, but this is the way I like to do it. Okay, so there's our first one. Move up a little bit. Let's put another one. So again, 2 dashes. And turn. It's almost like putting an X in there, but it doesn't have to be exactly straight up and down. This one's going to go a little bit behind that one. So we do the inner petals, and then we come back and add the auras. Okay, we're going to do another one. So your little dashes go just inside these petals. And then we add our auras. It was fun going through all the lists of patterns to find those that are botanical and that can be in, like I say, like a vine or ribbon. Okay, I'm going to do sprigs on this side also. So again, just kind of a wavy line. And then we're going to aura that and come back down and then start adding our sprigs. I don't increase the speed on my videos, so if this gets kind of slow for you, you can speed it up. Or if I'm going too fast, feel free to pause the video to catch up or to use the settings to slow it down. Likewise, I don't put music on my videos because that can be distracting for some people. Okay, remember to relax your shoulders. Breathe. Enjoy what you're doing. Another good friend of mine, Yehudit Steinberg, is doing some mandalas also. She has some classes coming up, and her website or her YouTube channel is also listed in my channels group in my YouTube channel. Okay, now we're going to put one more up here. Another thing you can do with these is to add color. Excuse me. Either watercolor pencils or watercolors or watercolor brushes, brush pens. But I'm not going to do that as part of these videos. I like the simplicity of black on white, which is what I first learned when I joined or found Zentangle. Another thing you could do if you want is to leave room to put a border on the outside, but I want mine to go to the end. Okay, so that is sprig. And I think across here, I'm going to do flux. And for flux, I'm also just going to put kind of a wavy line to start with, and then just come down here and start adding what we call Rick's flux. Okay, because Maria's flux is a little bit different. It looks more like Muka to me. Okay, so we're just going to keep going back and forth on this little vine that we started. And keep adding more flux. This one's very simple but pretty. There are some Zentangle patterns that can be used on almost any tile, and I think Flux is one of those. I'm just going to add a little one here. Okay, and then I'm going to come across from that one and do the same thing. Again, just kind of a wavy line. And I guess you can see that I'm kind of following those very faint lines that we first added with the graphite. And then again, we're adding flux on each side of that line. I really enjoyed trying to put these together. I have several mandala books, but I just don't enjoy drawing the grids. And so when Kelly started doing the mini mandalas, I thought that was such a great idea. But I wanted to try to do something that incorporates botanical type patterns. And so this is what I came up with. Go up on this one and bring it back down. And one more. Okay, so now we have Sprigs and Flux. And the next one I'm going to do is this new one called Waltzy from Sue Schneider. And for this one, I'll show you with the step out, they come up like this. Okay, do two parallel lines, and then they go back and add these little loops on each side, and then an aura. Okay, and then you just do the same thing again. But what I found was a lot of times it was obvious, okay, that I had started over there, if you know what I mean. So what I started doing instead was to just come up and go ahead and go right into that little loop. And then you add the aura. Okay. And then you add a little bit of weight inside of those also. But that's how I'm going to do it. I just wanted to show you how the step out shows it. So I'm just going to curve this one a little bit and come up. Bring my loop back around. Same thing on this side. Come back around. And then we add an aura. Okay, so we come back to the center, add our little loop. Other side, add your loop. And then the aura. Excuse me. Another one. In the beginning, I made these little loops too thin. It helps if you make them so that they're close to heart shape, which is, I'm sure, why they came out with that pattern in February. Okay, let me do one more. This one won't be quite as big. Add your aura. And then at the top, she adds just a little tip like that, and she fills it in. Okay, and you can do it to where it branches off. Okay. Then you go back and add just a little bit of weighting. You can do it on the left side or the right side. We're going to do it on the right side of each of these. And I like the effect that that gives it. I know there are a few of you that follow my channel who will add some beautiful colors to this. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you do with this. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to come around and do my loop. This one's going to go behind. Excuse me, I got a tickle in my throat. Still there. Okay, so now we're putting our aura. In our next loops. Oops. Okay. Sorry. Still have a slight tickle in my throat. Okay, and then just that little tip. And then we're going to add that little bit of weighting on the right side of each one. And these don't look perfect. And that is perfectly fine. I'm not trying for perfection on any of my art. I just enjoy drawing. Okay. So now we have our basic patterns. And now I want to fill in with, let's see, I had this, oh, okay. This is the one I forgot to mention was Fescu, because that can go anywhere. But I want to show you Wist by Michele Beauchamp. And I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, if it's Beauchamp or Beauchamp. But On that one, she simply starts with a wavy line, okay? And then she adds these little lines all the way up. It could be a little bit longer. And then you just go back and add a little leaf on each side, okay? If they're close to each other, they might go behind. You could make your leaf more like this, if you would like. You could make your leaf roundish, if you'd like. And, you know, maybe we could do one of each, because we're going to put several of those in. Okay, so that's how that one works. And I'm just going to add that in between. So we're just going to start there, have kind of a curvy line that goes up, and then start adding our lines. Kind of random. Okay. And then we go back and add our little leaves. That one's going to go behind. And that one too. Okay, I think I'm just going to let that go off the edge. Okay, so there's our first one. And I'm going to go ahead and add those in between all of these. If you don't have a lot of room, that's okay. Just like with nature and springtime. Okay, this is what inspired me with springtime. For these, let's do them just a little bit differently. Let's put more of an orb. Okay. So on this one, start back here. And again, just kind of a wavy line. And our little starter lines. And for these, we'll make them pointed. So you can make these leaves however you would like. Okay. So we're going to do that same one across here. Excuse me. Okay, so these are going to be a little bit behind. And some of mine look kind of odd, and that's okay. Just enjoy what you're drawing. You could even put one along this tip, one off the edge. Okay. So now we're to the round leaves. Again, we're going to start behind these. Just make kind of a wavy line. And after you play with this for a while, you'll figure out how far apart your little petals. And mine are a little bit wider than that initial barrel there. Okay, so now we're doing the round ones. Okay. Excuse me. And then the next one will be like this. Okay, so your wavy line and then your little sticks. Not necessarily sticks, but they remind me of sticks. All right. Now your little pointy leaves. That one's going to go behind. This one also. I really enjoyed going through all these patterns again because there were some of these like this that I had forgotten about. I used to use this pattern, Sprigs, a lot. And we have so many patterns to choose from that it's hard to keep track. Okay, so from this point, you could come in, and I have fescue in here. You could add fescue in any spot. Okay, coming off of Flux. It's just a nice little filler to tie things together. Okay, so where you have some open spots, you can add this or not, just an option. I like how it ties it together. With Sprigs, one of the things that it usually has is a little curly Q. And you could have a fescue coming off that also. Okay, so we're just going to keep going around and adding a few little extras. You could add it right to the end. Sneak one in here and there. Totally up to you. Oh, that one got kind of big. It's okay. I like adding fescue. Come here. And there. Hmm. And again, I'm just adding these to fill in a little bit of this space in between. And it gives a little bit of a pop of, what's the word I'm looking for? Boldness or drama. That's the word I was looking for. The drama. Okay, so just see what you think it might need. I think in the very center of this, I'm going to add, first I'm going to make this a little bit darker. Okay. Now where these lines initially were, I'm just going to go ahead and divide this several times. And then I'm going to round these edges to make these look like petals in the very center. Didn't quite divide that in the center, but it's okay. And again, I'm just rounding these to make it look like a flower in the center. You can put a little line in each one of these. Okay. One of the other things that I had done was I put just like printemps in the center, and this one I did just a quick little gemstone. All right, go through and add the love, like Maria says. See if there's anything that you think might need a little touch-up. And let's shade it. Okay. For the flux, I'm just going to put a little bit of shading down here at the bottom of each. Okay, on this side also. Okay, and then just soften it with your blending stuff. Where it looks like something is bunched up together is a good place to add some shading. I like to keep mine simple. Okay. With these Wist, I'm basically going to do just a little graphite on top of each of those lines, just very lightly. And then we're going to come back and soften that. Turning your tile to keep your hand comfortable. Okay. And then with the blending stump, just very lightly go back and forth. Makes it look like a crease in the center of each of these little leaves. Okay, one more set. Okay. On the Sprigs, I'm just going to put graphite down at the bottom of each of these little leaves. And soften it. Same thing on this side. I really enjoy spring. I can get out and play around in the garden a little bit without it being so hot. But Southeast Texas, our springtime is short-lived. It's going to be hot soon. Okay, and then on this one, which is Waltzy, we're just going to put a little bit of shading where we added that little bit of weight to our line. I don't remember how they had it shaded, but this is what I'm going to do. It gives the impression that this is an open, kind of thick, I don't know, petal. And then again, just very lightly soften your graphite. There you go. Like I said, you could come back and put more fescue or whatever you wanted in between these, or just leave it like it is. I don't see any other things that I need to fix. Add your top, and on the back, I would encourage you to put the pattern names back out. So we had Waltzy, Wist, Sprigs, Flux, and Fescu. All right. I hope you enjoyed that. Zoom in a little bit on that again. All right. Thanks again for joining me. And I look forward to seeing what you do with this idea. And I will see you again next time. Please remember to hit the like button. And if you haven't, please subscribe. And I will see you next time. Bye.